help me here? Okay. So basically, what we will be doing here, I will be. My name is Muhammad Kidwai, and I'm a physician, and I'm working for a big pharmaceutical company as an associate medical director. And this is my 26th year in pharmaceutical industry. I have done so many things during my life in pharmaceuticals. So I have been a CRA, I have been a lead CRA, I have been a clinical trial manager, a project manager. Then I was started as my career in clinical scientist. Then I become the medical expert, then medical monitor, and I'm project manager. And now I'm a project physician. And I have done so many co-monitorings, and I did uh, monitoring, on-site monitoring, off-site monitoring, coaching and counseling, hiring new CRAs, and working with regulatory, drug development, data management, commercial, and monitoring in over 26 countries. Europe, Asia, Latin America, North America, and some part of West. So I have a good experience in knowing what is the requirement to become a CRA, how the CRA should do the work, and what is the future prospect for each one of you. It's totally depend upon your own skills. I can give you as much as you want, and so I've been an auditor for, I have done so many audits. I have worked with so many CROs. I have worked in a small company to a medium-sized company to a large company. And I've been a trainer. I used to be trained the trainer, and I used to train the key opinion leader, the physicians, and also the marketing people and the sales people. So this is my background. And today what we are doing is that the risk-based monitoring. I learned from one of you says that you know a basic knowledge of the site selection, the site feasibility, and the site initiation visit. So those are the things which is standard. And now what happened that once we started the monitoring, because of this digital world, because of the safety of the patient, because you wanted to see that if the study is being conducted rightly or wrongly, and because of the travel restrictions and the delayed in the data, there are regulatory authorities who was keep working on modifying how we should do the clinical trials. For that matter, the concept of risk-based monitoring came up. And when I'm saying regulatory authorities, I mean to say, like FDA or the European authorities or the Japanese authorities. So if you heard the term regulatory authorities, it means the regulators who govern the clinical trials. So having said that, the risk-based monitoring, this is the heading itself is well defined, and what we are saying here that if you are doing a monitoring, what could be the challenges and how you will overcome those challenges. So the traditionally what we used to do is we used to do on-site monitoring. And this is called the traditional monitoring, where a CRA get to the site, review the documents, look at the data, and the CRA job was just to verify what data has entered into the case report form, and that's it. So that was the job of the CRA. The risk-based monitoring is a very broad and very challenging and giving empowerment to the field monitors or the CRA so that they can do their job more efficiently. They can identify what is going on at each site and how to mitigate or how when to take actions and how good the planning should be and how should be the execution. So everything is just like this is risk-based monitoring. So all of you are hearing me clearly. Thank you. Okay. So in the slide number 2, you can see my slides. Okay. So the learning object, there are 8 modules in this course, and I will try to do faster if you are okay with my speed, and if I am too fast, just ask me to slow down, and if I'm so slow, ask me to speed up. So the objective of risk-based monitoring is to know what is the definition, what is the description, what the FDA guidelines supporting, how it works, what are the benefits, and what is the future of risk-based monitoring. So I will not use the full word risk-based monitoring. I will be using the word RBM. So as I said, the clinical trials complexity is growing and increasing and causing the challenges to see how the clinical trial is being done. And just to look at those things, how the challenges, the trials are done, new approaches should be adopted to monitor, to ensure the quality and efficacy of the clinical data. And above all, the protection of human subjects in the trial. So we need to ensure that whatever data we are getting from the site, does this data make sense? Are we seeing any efficacy? And we are protecting the rights of the or well-being of the patient or subject in the trial. So in slide number 3, we are saying that there are many definitions, okay? So number 1 definition is that the process to ensure the quality of clinical trials by identifying, assessing, monitoring, and mitigation risk that could affect the quality of the study. This is an adaptive approach to monitor trial that focus the activities of the monitor to evolving areas of the need, which is more potential to impact the safety and data integrity. So when monitoring activities are targeted, okay, so when the monitor targeted that will deliver the benefits, and you can look at the risk of the trial represented by each site and the type of data where monitoring effort will be best used. So what they are saying that if you do the risk RBM, you can look at the data, you can identify, you can assess, you can monitor, you can mitigate any issues which you can do in a quicker way. Also, you will be focused on the area where you need more efficient monitoring, and you can identify the risk, or you can identify the issues that can impact the patient safety and the integrity of the data. Also, they are saying that if you are monitoring a data, or if you are doing a remote monitoring, you will identify where you need to put more attention than the other one. So again, what we are saying here, that the aim is to identify, assess, control, communicate, and review the risk associated with the clinical trial. So, and what we wanted to do, we wanted to protect the patient, right, well-being, integrity of the data, safety of the patient, and we are assuring that we are getting the quality data and the trial credibility. So that means we wanted to ensure, and why, once you go through certain slides, you will understand where this is coming from. So it is a monitoring solution that transforms how trials are monitored. So description of the RBM is it will reduce SDV. SDV means source data verification. So when the monitor goes onto the site means, and then when they are monitoring the source document versus the case report forms, basically they are verifying. Verifying means that they are verifying whatever is reported in the case report form is exactly captured in the source document, and whatever source document captured is exactly transferred into the case report form. That is the traditional monitoring. And then if we adopt the RBM, we will reduce this verification, and we will just be doing the targeted monitoring, and we will be looking for the triggered monitoring. Targeted means that we know what should we look at it, and triggered monitoring means that anything which make us to look into, okay, anything which comes up and we have to trigger it, which we find during our review, and that trigger. So that is the trigger monitoring. And also it's an alternative approach to reduce the on-site monitoring. So basically, the on-site monitoring will be reduced if we do the risk-based monitoring, or the RBM. And the RBM is a mixture of strategies where you can use on-site monitoring plus this centralized monitoring practice. And the goal of this combination is to protect the patient safety and the integrity of the data, so that we have a credible trial. So where this idea came from? So FDA released a guidance in 2011 that was a draft guidance, and it was finalized in August 2013. And the guidance was that the FDA wanted sponsors means who does the clinical trial, that we need to move away from one size fits all, because in traditional monitoring, what we do one size fits all. Every time in any study, if you are doing traditional monitoring, monitor does the same thing. If it is an oncology study, or any neurology study, any cardiovascular, any study you will do, you will be doing the same thing. So FDA wanted a sponsor to think something different than the traditional monitoring. And then they also say that if you really wanted to do traditional monitoring, you need to combine together. So make something so that you can have to look at the data differently. And in addition to FDA, there were 3 other organizations which are working on the same lines. And those organizations are worldwide organizations. So those organizations were from Japan, from Europe, and from the independent organization. They wanted to bring something to the market so that we can do the job more efficiently.